what I plan to do in 2018. For the last few years, it's been my dream to race motorcycles. I got the chance to take part in an endurance race with OMCC last year, in Croix-en-Tonnarce. I can't know how to pronounce it that way, but I just call it Croix. On their SRAD 600, and I absolutely loved it. Couldn't believe how much fun it was to just go out and race and catch up to people. It was so much fun. So I got a brand new bike for me at the end of last year, this ZX6R. I actually went and did a track day on it, and I accidentally threw up the road. It's okay, it's all back together. So I plan to take part in the Thundersport GB Golden Era Supersport class, and I'm going to film it and show you what it's like to race from my perspective, trying to do this on a budget. I'm going to do this as cheaply as possible. I'm not going to buy new tyres every race or anything like that. I'm going to see how far I can push some tyres, and if I need to buy some tyres, I'll get the minimum I can spend, which probably be scrubs that have done 10 laps in BSB. So how much have I currently spent? Well, I paid £1,000 for this bike. I needed to get some race fairings for it, and I went as cheaply as I possibly could, and I found some on Facebook for £80. They weren't quite the model that I've got, but they fit. What else did I do? Luckily I had some spares from my last bike. I had already picked up some spare rims, but you'd roughly spend about probably £150 on a set of tyres. I also got a new master cylinder, as the brakes on these tend to fade after a little while, and it tends to be the master cylinder isn't strong enough to pull it up, and the brake calipers need to be serviced a lot. So I've done the servicing on them. I've installed a new master cylinder. It's a cheap Chinese Adlin master cylinder, and I'll be doing a review on them, giving my feedback on it, as I know what the master cylinder is like on these stock, so I can give my impressions. The only other thing I've done is I've put some rear sets on it. These are again a cheap Chinese set. I've probably overspent on these. I spent about £130, ended up being about £160 with import costs from Dan Moto. They're not perfect, but they'll do the job, and I'll give my feedback on them and see if I need to change them later on in the season. So where do I go from here getting go racing? I've got my ACU on the 23rd of February with Thundersport at Donington. I don't know how much of that I can film, but I'll be filming as much as I can. I'll be filming me going out on the track, and I think you can do that and giving my impressions on what that's like. I will probably, for the first race, either get some new tyres, just so I've got a base setting of how they feel, and then when they start going off, or how much I use them. I will probably try and get them as cheaply as possible. I'll probably spend about £250 on a set of tyres, and see how many meetings they'll do. I don't expect them to do much. If they go through 2-3 meetings, I'll be quite happy with that. I don't know how much fuel I'm going to use. They're not long races, but I reckon it'll be half a tank per race. So I'm probably going to be looking at about 40-30 quid for fuel for the weekend. How much it's going to cost me to do my ACU is £150 for the Thundersport GB one-stop shop, turn up and walk away with your licence, plus the £48 it is for the ACU licence that you have to pay. So for less than 200 quid I'm getting my ACU licence. Per race it's about 250 quid per race. That's warm-up, qualifying and 4 races over the weekend. So it's not cheap, but you look to spend about 130 quid for a track day in the summer. So, and that's just 7 sessions, 20 minutes on track. This is racing, you're pushing yourself, and you go faster that way. I've managed to get some a sponsorship for this season because I got friendly with a bike shop local to me called Helmet City, and all that means is I get a discount on clothing. They will obviously help me if something goes wrong with the clothing and stuff like that. I have to wear some badges on my leathers, but it's getting a discount on clothing. It's to do this again as cheaply as possible. Recommend probably getting friendly with your local clothing shop if you want to get a discount on clothing. If you tell them you're racing, you might get a discount anyway if you show them an ACU licence. I have started a GoFundMe page, just because, again, if a friend wants to give you 10 quid and he's halfway across the country, he can just donate it through that. Again, 10 quid is a tank of gas and a tank of fuel. That's a race done for you. As for all the links for the GoFundMe and the RST Concept Helmet City shop will be in the description below. So join me on this first year of racing as cheaply as possible. I'll be documenting it and you can follow me along. And if you feel like it, I will be doing a pre-race thing where I'll be telling you where I'll be going. So feel free to come along and join me and lend a hand. And you'll also know that I've got a nice brolly dolly. Abby, she will be joining me throughout the year. And yeah, that's it. Thank you very much.